Vision,
inventive,
enrichment,
effective,
remarkable,
trustworthy,
innovative,
friend,
supportive,
versatile,
a blessing,
competent,
partner,
flexible,
focused on the whole student,
persistent,
responsive.
wonderful,
equity-centered,
genuine supporter.
It's a group of caring people and devoted people.
Kudos to Mary, a gift to the schools.
It really all started in 1978 with Proposition 13. That changed public funding for public schools. It was devastating. Every year there was an increasing number of cutbacks. 3 schools were closed. Class sizes were increased. All the enrichment teachers were gone. A group of parents and community members decided that something had to be done. Our original thought was to show teachers that even though these awful things were happening, they were the ones who were in the classroom and then they knew best what the kids needed.
Any kind of visionary work we wanted to do or passion projects and innovation, the Berkeley Schools Fund provided classroom grants. It was an exciting time of the year when we got to dream and write grants, and I remember Stan and Mary starting this project and really investing in the teachers.
If there was something that we wanted to make happen, a field trip that we knew was really high leverage, high valuable thing to help enrich the curriculum, I knew I could go to the Schools Fund.
And one that I think back on is the 5th graders going up to Lawrence Hall of Science. Here was a rich resource right in our community. It was the Schools Fund that was responsible to ensure that every 5th grader in BUSD made a trip up to Lawrence Hall.
Increasing grants and then responding to specific needs. That was really our operation for many years. When Berkeley Volunteers started, the initial program was really contacting teachers and putting the word out to community members.
Teachers put out there what it is their needs were, and the community responded. People who want to come into the schools and help out.
And with Berkeley Schools Volunteers, it was magical. You filled out a form, you said, I'd like to have somebody help with reading or cooking or whatever the need was in the classroom, and somebody showed up with the badge and said, I'm here, I've been trained, what do you need?
This is the best job I've ever had in my life. This is the only job that has given me the kind of fulfillment and the sense of giving something to the community and a sense of making a contribution that will go on and on and on in future generations.
We were just writing thank you notes to the volunteer, and one of the students wrote, I don't have any grandparents, but you're like what I expected a grandparent to be. Those kind of connections that wouldn't happen otherwise, it allows the students these relationships that are lasting and are different. So it just helps everyone grow.
The state, we live in the boom bust cycle continually, so some years you're able to fund a program and other years that great program, no matter how great it was, is gone. The Schools Fund levels that out.
One of the early ones that came up was the music program. The district had decided with budget cuts to cut the elementary school instrumental music program.
When the music program was threatened to be defunded, and it was a real crisis, the fact that the Berkeley Schools Fund stepped up in such a positive and powerful way.
It involved a lot of trust on the part of the district, a lot of faith on our part that we could really do this. We got support from musicians like Phil Lesh from the Grateful Dead, gave a concert which raised over $125,000, down to a small little known group, you might know them as Green Day.
We know through the Schools Fund we can tell our community partners that we have a conduit for dispersing funds. So if people are willing to donate to our programs, they can donate through the Schools Fund, and we're able then to pay for things that we need.
To be in a community where you know the schools are so strongly supported, just boost your morale.
I think what all of us in the Schools Fund particularly like to do is give grants that were seeding innovative ideas.
We started doing more focused grants. It had usually just been sort of small teacher grants, and we started doing larger grants for really distinct purposes that would have a larger impact.
It was the beginning of kind of trying to focus in a little bit more on how to take that money that the community so generously donates every year and invest it more strategically.
I have a great story that really shows the kind of incubator project project that the Schools Fund has been. A parent contacted me. She was a biology professor at Cal, and she said, oh, I have this idea for a project and I don't know where to go. And I said, go have lunch with Aaron Rhodes. The You Be a Scientist project came from that.
We funded the beginning of that, developing the curriculum. It was to be piloted at King. The plan was for it to go to all 3 middle schools.
In this project, every 7th grader gets matched with a Cal grad student for a science project.
That was fall of 2013, and it's in its 9th year. The pride of our organization having been a part of developing, and it's been institutionalized. It is just part of being a middle schooler in Berkeley now. You get that great program.
The Schools Fund is so remarkable, and even if I had no other history with the Schools Fund other than what happened during school closure during the pandemic, the Ed Hub, wow.
It was that bridge that helped to carry our families and our communities over the troubled waters. And the troubled waters was people who couldn't afford to pay PG&E. They might lose their phone if they didn't get funds to pay for them. They also were there with task runners to help go buy, pick up laptops, hotspots, and deliver them to the homes.
You know, obviously they set up a very complex distribution system on a moment's notice to get computers to students and other supplies and furniture and all kinds of things so families could have a little classroom in their home.
I think the pandemic showed us how quickly we can affect change. If you've got the passion and cooperation and the partnerships in place, a lot can move quickly, and that feels like where we are right now.
As we come out of the pandemic, we all had to learn how to teach again, how to lead again, how to parent again.
We also had a change in what our students and the community needed. We were seeing that there was students with mental health issues more so than before, students needing connections more so than before. So we were seeing there was a different need.
And one of the ways that I've seen the Schools Fund make that shift with a new lens of equity and the changes that we want as a community.
I got a lot of training on how the school district is approaching equity issues. I felt like I was in intellectual sync with the school district. I felt like there was a real moral and ethical dimension. It wasn't just charity work, it was much deeper than that. I felt like I could bring my whole self to this task.
I went through all the equity training. The example I remember from that training was, here's a family and they're all riding bicycles. Are they all riding the same bicycle, or do they need bicycles that fit their own size and strength and everything else? That was just a crystal clear example of what equity means, is trying to fit your efforts to meet students' individual needs.
I think what I'm most proud of about the Schools Fund when I look at it today is the wonderful growth that we have been able to achieve.
I see it as an energized organization with somewhere along the way, as if they weren't busy enough, their aspirations grew. And now they're doing a whole lot more stuff.
Education is like the key to life. It's the key to equity, social equity. It's the key to lifelong learning. It's the key to democracy. And making sure we have strong schools in Berkeley it's part of being a member of a community. It's just essential.